Thank you again for waiting through the break with us. It's Kevin, Dunk, and True taking you to the first game of our series tonight between the Gamblers and the Gladiators. As lead client, thank you for sitting with us. Continues to be as broken as Jungle Amumu in my bronze lobbies. So yeah, we have a pretty spicy game from the side of Gladiators here. Really just sticking to their name and picking some absolutely, I'd say, run at them until you die champions with Silas and Kindred. So yeah, Drew, any thoughts about how this early game should go?
I mean, as far as the early game is concerned, I'm not expecting a whole lot of action. Like maybe with top lane, just because Silas can be really aggressive, and you do see that both Silas and Gangplank have that ignite by virtue of they'll get TP for free. We're seeing a little bit of early trading in mid lane as well, just because your welcome does have the electrocute, easy to proc with Ari's W. But otherwise, in terms of setup, nothing too surprising from either team. I think the other thing that you might want to just keep in mind is, who does Kindred mark first, just because Kindred does want to get those marks stacked up and can scale really well later. Man, Fox already at 50% HP, though.
Yeah, you're welcome. Doing some really good use of that Foxfire and the Electrocute to trade up as Fox kind of zoned away from the minions. You'd think that with the Clockwork Wind would do more, but we see the immediate headbutt pulverize from that level 2 spike from Blind Hookers as 7gen able to throw the orbs on him for some good damage. So I like that the bot lane of Gamblers is playing, pretty aggressively against, Braum Zeri, because I think Zeri is just one of those champs you definitely don't want to get into the late game, playing even or ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is that Yunara is able to, in theory, hit level 2 a little bit faster just be off of popping Q and being able to AoE the wave down. But top lane, a little bit of a trade going on, the little
Oh,
1v1.
you wouldn't get it. Getting very aggressive, popping the Ignite as well as Winter has to flash back. The Abscon Abduct doing big damage as I think, yeah, even though you can use the oranges as Gangplank to kind of take the edge off of that stun. Actually, we see first blood already in mid lane. Not sure what happened, but you're welcome. Got a solo kill with that Ignite, likely from that early lane pressure, and crashes a full wave in. So very nice first blood from them. Not sure if we'll get the replay, but nice early game to kind of keep Fox down.
Yeah, and we were kind of seeing the prelude to it, in those earlier minutes, right? With your welcome just constantly getting the Foxfire down, autos as well. By the time you hit level 4, you're just trading so well into that Orianna. There's just not much that can be done at that point. So yeah, Fox in the dumps, is able to TP back to lane, so it doesn't lose out completely on the entire wave. But yeah, it's really rough right now for that Ori. And speaking of rough, top lane Winter, doing a whole ton of damage.
And now it looks like Rexcat going for the dive on him. The full wave is pushed in on. You wouldn't get it, as we see bot lane is also scrapping 7gen and walking into 2v1 as Blind Hookers went to ward, but fully stacked up on the lethal tempo. It's going to be a flash pulverize, but it's a flash away from Reindeer Smolder to keep him safe. But Frisky taken so low by the fidget spinner, and it's actually 7gen who gets the kill. 7gen walking under turret for a bit more autos as Zaf is trying to push this in now. They're likely going to try to dive the Zeri. 7gen hits level 4. This is a pretty big wave. They can tank up. Zaf is very healthy. Can Blind Hookers get it? Yeah, it's just going to be an easy headbutt pulverize. Reindeer Smolder pops the barrier, but it doesn't even matter. 7gen, very early in this game, just before 4 minutes, already picking up two full kills and a turret plating, meaning they're very ahead in this hyper carry kind of scaling matchup. Very nice for them.
Yeah, I mean, the initial kill onto Frisky is already, great there. Blind Hookers able to get the pull down the headbutt, forcing the flash from Reindeer Smolder, because if you don't flash there, then you're going to get headbutt back into 7gen. So it was a reasonable flash to begin with. The problem is that Reindeer Smolder stuck around thinking like, okay, well, I can't lose out on the wave entirely too. But at that point, Zaf shows up, and then you just have to, be content to die. Like, you already know as Zeri that you're going to get dove there, and there's just not much you can do about it at that point. You already burned Flash. Walking away, maybe you force Wukong's Flash out, but even then, it's not a great time for you. But what is a great time is that 7gen, as you said, Kevin, does come away with 2 kills. So very happy with how things are going. And then on the other side, Reindeer Smolder does have a cull, so going to try to recoup those gold losses over time just by farming up well. But yeah, not a great sign for Gladiators bot lane. But they're in top lane and see Winter shoving in with those barrels.
Yeah, not a great sign indeed. That's just really rough, especially when you're on the Zeri that wants to scale up. But I think the other lanes are doing pretty well for Team Gladiators. As like you said, you wouldn't get it. Oh my god, I didn't even say it, but he already got a solo kill. That's just a 1v1. He just gets the hijack, I guess, and blasts him on. Unfortunately, we didn't see what happened there. But yeah, very strong early start. I think Winter's just a little unfortunate.
Oh,
but now
man,
you're
Fox.
welcome. Goes in the mid lane, pops the Spirit Rush, and just fires on him. Fox, I don't think, just barely hit level 6 maybe, but very nice kill. Has the Dark Seal, so he's going to get 2 stacks on that. That's already 2 kills for the solo laners on the side of Gamblers. So yeah, bot side going well for Gamblers, but the top side kind of falling to shambles here.
Yeah, I mean, solo lane's certainly going rough. And as you said, oh wait,
Zaf waiting for that. As we see, yeah, Scuttle taken, so he successfully gets the smite, but he does have to invest the flash to get out of there. A little scary, but yeah, not much wasted other than the flash, but that might be key for this closer dragon fight, because yeah, the flash not on the Wukong means it's going to be a little bit harder to get past the Braum.
Yeah, certainly. And, just to talk about what happened there in top lane, yeah, as you said, you wouldn't get it, does hit 6, is able to hijack the Gangplank ultimate. And Winter, you have to contend with an version of your own ultimate that's actually stronger than what you can pump out in terms of damage, because Gangplank ult does scale with AP, and Sylas is able to build at least far more AP than Gangplank can. So yeah, you wouldn't get it. Certainly able to get that kill down bot lane though. Rex Cat on this Kindred.
Rex Cat getting caught, headbutted in. He doesn't have level 6 for the Lamb's Respite, and now they're looking for the kill. The flash over, but it's 7gen who's in position. He pops the ulti, shoots out the laser. Blind Hookers unfortunately picks up the second one, but boom, 7gen just nails him in the head with the orbs, picking up the 3rd kill of the game. So a lot of jungle pressure from Team Gamblers being invested in this bot side, while the solo lanes are a bit struggling. But I think 7gen is very, very happy and is in a very good position to carry this game with those, pretty substantial lead at even collecting solo plates.
Yeah, I mean, you can see just off of the gold that 7gen is almost 1,500 gold above Reindeer Smolder. Absolutely the richest player on the entire map. So that Yunara very well accelerated at this point. Fox now in mid lane, eating a nice chunk of damage, but you can see that Gamblers, they're trying to angle for the dragon as well. Oh dear.
Oh, the shockwave goes wide. You're welcome. Just dash past it with the Spirit Rush. So it's going to be a 3rd solo kill in this game on Fox, who's just not having a great time. Did not choose to flash away, but I think the Ignite plus the Foxfire would have killed him anyways. But yeah, killing spree on the Ahri. Very unfortunate timing on the shockwave means he's going to get out scot-free.
It's just a horrible situation to be in for these solo lanes of Gamblers. I mean, Gangplank is definitively behind, but Orianna is just tossed into the dumpster at this point. I mean, I feel like if you're Fox in this situation, you're kind of realizing, I'm just worth my shockwave at this point. I'm not really worth much else. You can just compare the inventories, right? You have a Lost Chapter Doran's Ring and it's here, opposed to a Lost Chapter Faded Ashes Doran's Ring, 4 stacks on a Dark Seal and boots. That is a huge advantage for the Ahri.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think this Ahri is going to be very dangerous unless 7gen has enough peel, so it's up to, I think, Blind Hookers to play kind of the bodyguard in this game as we see the invade, the mid-prio paying off here, but the Vision Ward is dropped, so Zaf is still going to get hit with the Charm as he pops the Cyclone for the movement speed. Can he get out? No, the last stack of the Mounting Dread means Rexhat gets the kill, gets the stack. 2 stacks now on the Kindred as they invade the top side due to the losing mid and top lane, so yeah, Gamblers, unfortunately, Zaf has to pay kind of for the sins of the mid and top as Fox maybe caught out here again, gets the phase rush. Oh, actually not the phase rush, just gets damage and actually flashes out of that charm. I don't even think, yeah, you're welcome didn't even have the Spirit Rush, so a bit kind of antsy there after getting solo killed multiple times. Fox, you'd have to think they're, playing a bit less optimal than they think now that they're kind of scared of that huge item disparity that you were talking about, True. But now in the top lane, it's just going to be a straight 1v1, and you wouldn't get it, gets it, because he just solo killed again for the 2nd time, dropping, not even needing the Cannon Barrage, actually, as the Cannon Barrage from Winter's Gangplank doesn't kill on the Sylas. The Ignite invested as well, so So just by this, smallest margin, you wouldn't get it. Gets the kill, top laner, second solo kill, and it means that on the top side, Rexcat's going to get the Herald, and Zaf is going to invest more of his energy that was already existing in this bot lane again, hopefully to get 7gen ahead.
Bot lane.
Bot lane, we see Zaf already picking up the first kill. They're just diving on a Frisky. He gets hit with the laser, and it's just spoon-fed to 7gen as Blind Hookers with that ultimate. The Unbreakable Will makes him so damn tanky, but it's you wouldn't get it, making it to the bottom lane. I'm not sure if they finished the quest yet, but 7gen is very powerful here. Just going to slam him with a couple orbs. They did complete that role quest already at 10 minutes, so now this is going to make their scaling go exponential as they already finished the Kraken Slayer. They just got a fat payout from the quest, and they're going to get even more money as we see Zaf jump onto you wouldn't get it. Silas running away now, pops the Cyclone of his own, but it's taking a lot of damage from 7gen. 7gen gets it with the Abscond Abduct, but he's going to trade back with the orbs and gets the kill. A bit too much ambition from you wouldn't get it, makes it so that he gets in the grave, and it's not a shutdown, but that's still a good amount of gold in the pockets of 7gen, already on the Kraken. It's likely that they can finish probably another half item as it's the Headbutt Pulverize already on Reindeer Smolder, stunned up by the trample. 7gen's throwing out the orbs, doing big damage. Frisky actually has to flash for the stand behind me and getting the Unbreakable, just barely saving their AD carry. Get down, Mr. President, but 7gen still full HP bar going. They're trying to get very aggressive, but You're Welcome is now roaming on the bottom lane. 7gen uses the Kanmei steps to get further away. The headbutt away. You're Welcome. Can he get the charm? He does. Gets the shutdown for the Rampage, and now it's going to be a flash away from 7gen. The Orbit Deception goes out, does good damage, but You're Welcome doesn't have another charge of the Spirit Rush. Just used all 4 just to get in range, and it's going to be them chunking out the tower plate. So we're kind of seeing a tale of 2 maps here, True. It's everyone on the side of Team Gamblers kind of losing the top side, and it's everyone from the top side of Team Gladiators trying to bail out their bot side. This is not even 15 minutes in, and everybody's moving around the map. As we see Fox here hitting the dissonance, running towards the turret, gets hit with the Abscond Abduct, the Shockwave on both sides. So 2 Shockwaves out, and it's into Zaf, who tries to go for a bit of trade damage, and it's just going to be Fox just blown apart by their own stolen Shockwave. And yeah, unfortunately, it looks like you wouldn't get it as just a better ganker here, as Zaf has to walk away, just going back to farm his camps.
I mean, Fox has just not been allowed to play this game at all, right? Like, you're 0-4-0 at 12 minutes. Like the amount of pressure is immense that you're facing, not only from your laning opponent now, but also from the enemy top laner. It's deeply frustrating to be in this position. Oh, wait, Blind Hooker's forced to burn ultimate.
Yeah. Our early force of the ulti as he tries to hold the wave for Fox, but it might get him killed. You're Welcome looking for the charm here. Hits it. Is there enough damage as Rexcat is here for the damage? Unstoppable on this Ahri. This cow took a little bit too much time in the pastures and got hunted down by the wolf, as it's going to be You're Welcome picking up their 5th kill of the game with the help of Rexcat. I think that was their 3rd stack as well. So, the snowballing going, opposite on both sides, as Zaf getting taken very low, but he's going to survive with his life.
Yeah, I mean, in that particular moment, like, you also have to keep in mind as Alistair there, like, yes, you do have a large amount of damage reduction from Unbreakable Will, but Ahri Orbit Deception deals true damage on the pullback. So even when that expires, or even before that expires, you're still under a certain degree of danger. And now we're kind of seeing, I feel like the game's starting to pull away from Gamblers at the moment. Like, yes, this Yunara is hyper strong, like, still extremely rich, 2 completed items already. And off of that early quest completion, you'll get a lot of gold out of it, sure, but now you're also contending with an Ahri that's 5-0, working towards that second item, almost a fully stacked Darksteel, and you, as well as this Silas, right, who is 3-1 and 10, has that completed Rocket Belt, and like the solo lane, like the difference of the impact that these solo lanes can have is just so immense. I feel like if Gamblers want to be successful, then their one play this game is to just keep 7gen alive in every circumstance and hope that the Yunara just gaps fights. Because outside of that, it really, really feels like Ahri and Silas, between You're Welcome and You Wouldn't Get It, are on the cusp of breaking the game open for their team.
Yep, absolutely. As we see Fox able to get to the breakpoint where they can clear waves pretty easily. So hopefully no more ISO deaths there. Winter getting frozen on, but has kept up a decent in farm. As we see the dive onto turrets, the turret goes down to the crystalline overgrowth. As we see Reindeer Smolder pops the barrier and it does nothing. Over the top, Winter pops the cannon barrage just for the assist. As we see a double kill over to 7gen's Yunara. It's the flash over the wall for Fox as he gets engaged on. The shockwave brings You're Welcome back, but he gets the flash into the Foxfire. Trade for flash, but it's only You're Welcome who gets the kill. And I'm going to say he's saying thank you for that, but he's getting collapsed on by Zap. There's no minions. He tanks a turret shot or two, throws out the orb. Is there enough CC for it? Blind Hookers gets the knock up, and 7gen, they just donated to him. Shut down onto this already very strong Yunara, as on the other side, it was Winter dying again in the 1v1. So again, the story of two sides of the map continues as 7gen is just swimming in gold and XP, but the rest of his team is really suffering as, you know, the solo laner is just getting solo killed multiple times this game. I think in total that's 8 solo kills on the side of 7 solo kills. There's one gank up there for his solo laners, as he has 8 kills just by themselves. So 7gen, like you said, really needs to be you know, the all-encompassing. They need to play the Uzi playstyle of protect the president, or else I don't think they can win the game.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, 7gen getting that huge like payday just for the single auto is great. Like they absolutely, gamblers need this to happen, right? Like you need your Yunara to be strong, and it's also good because you knock some of those stacks off of You're Welcome's Darksteel. You know, it's less incentive to finish that Medjais or just go for it. But it's also another problem there in top lane, is you wouldn't gets another solo kill for himself as this Sylas here. So the pressure that the Sylas and the Ahri still have in this game is still very notable. Obviously, the Yunara seems to be a problem that I think that Gladiators have yet to address. But maybe their thought is, well, maybe we don't need to address the Yunara if we can win the map elsewhere. Because you can see both of their solo laners assigned to those side lanes, just trying to push those turrets down.
You wouldn't get it, just trading back heavily with the chain last Winter, taking about 30% HP, as we see again. Zaf is trying to do his best to keep, you know, playing bodyguard and counter the ganks onto his bottom lane, who are now in the mid for the rotation. You're Welcome's going to take down this turret, as Fox is just going to walk into the 1v1. The charm misses, the orb misses, but You're Welcome just dashes on him with the Spirit Rush, with the Foxfire. Already just chunks out almost half of Fox's HP, as Zaf's going to throw down the Rift Herald that they got earlier. I think this is going to be likely enough to break down the turret, but Rexcat is here to defend, as, yeah, one more turret auto is going to take it down, so that's going to be mid lane turret destroyed. So that does open up the map, but just randomly gets caught. Blind Hookers gets eviscerated and evaporated. Doesn't even pop the ulti of the TP. Sorry, not the TP. It was just You're Welcome just running it down from mid laner. Excuse me. As, yeah, we're just playing ARAM now. I guess there's 4 people mid. 7gen is now the lone defense against You're Welcome and Reindeer Smolder, but with the help of that Runans. And the fact they already have IE, I didn't even see that. They are a full 2 items ahead of their lane opponent. Means they're going to clear that out very easily.
Yeah, like this Yunara is terrifying, right? And I think that if you wouldn't get it in You're Welcome, like even as strong as you are, even though you're getting like better XP income, it's hard to say like, yeah, I want to take on the Yunara. And I actually think it's a reasonable choice by Blind Hookers to not pop Unbreakable Will there. You know that you're going to come back up in time for the dragon fight.
The collapse on You wouldn't get it. He gets knocked up. He gets pulverized. He pops the Unbreakable Will. The Glacial Fisher misses as he's just eviscerated, but Reindeer Smolder gets the kill onto Zap, as now it's the Abscond Abducts. It's the flash away. You wouldn't get it, taken very low, but it's the Lamb's Rest. But the charm hits from You're Welcome, and he's just going to make it so he can clean up with the Spirit Rush. It's triple kill over to this Ahri. The shutdown does go over to Winter, but still, that was a beautiful team fight from the top and mid laner of Team Gladiators. They just managed to throw everything at the, not the Zeri, sorry, the Yunara, and it works out. They win the team fight. They secure the second drag, all off of the chain CC. It was the flash away from 7gen from that Ahri charm, and then You wouldn't get it. Managed to hit the Abscond Abduct after all of the movement spells are used, and then just after that, the team is paper. So Gladiator is very happy to win that fight. The Yunara has been dealt with for now.
Yeah, and like the other thing that's like worth acknowledging here is like, yes, this Yunara is really terrifying, and one thing that did come into play was that Kindred ultimate, just being able to make sure that people stayed alive, they didn't get bursted out by Yunara's enhanced W and ultimate form. but it's still a huge problem, right? Like 7 Gen and their team, the team the Gamblers have together there, were unfortunately not a sufficient front line for that Yunara to keep DPSing. It was almost, right? It was still relatively close, but they're not able to keep the Yunara alive. In a
You wouldn't
situation
get it,
like
jumping
this,
in
you
with the
can't
purple
leave
belt
them
and the
alone!
upcon of Duck. 7 getting some peel, but you're welcome. Just gets him with the not the aftershock, the electrocute, as its blind hooker's popping the ulti, but it's not enough to save him. The cannon barrage comes down just to slow down the enemy team, but it's not going to do anything as Winter getting a nice barrel onto your welcome, taking him the low. But still, that is your key carry. The one person that you put your hopes and dreams on in this game to carry, and they're just dead straight out. And now it's going to be the Baron started up for Team Gladiators as it's 5-man on it. Fox is solo pushing, doesn't have the TP, is going to get some, nice income, but I think this is going to be a Baron over. That is very big to blow open the game for Team Gladiators. Nice target selection, just constantly hunting down this Yunara.
Yeah, I mean, like, at this point, right, you're dealing with the enemy team that just got a sub 21-minute Baron.
Oh, you wouldn't get it now, chasing down Fox. Fox pops the shockwave to get away as he's trying to escape. You wouldn't get it now, dashing with the abscond of Duck. Has a lot of movement speed. It's the flash out from Fox to get out of that. You wouldn't get it, just has so much movement speed. And yeah, somehow catches up to Fox. And that's going to be the flash invested for that Orianna. Shockwave down, but it's a pretty low cooldown. But still, like you said, True, I think the game is starting to slip away.
Yeah, I mean, this Ahri is a monster, right? Like, has Lichbane completed, has Medjai's as well. Like, there's so much burst at this point
Oh
that the
my
Ahri
god,
can
they're
pop
just
out, and
sending the
that's enough
space
kill.
at him. Lichbane indeed, True, as they just blasted apart Winter. Top lane turret, or sorry, top lane solo kill, bot lane falls, as everywhere that the Yunara isn't, Gladiators is taking over.
Yeah, the Yunara is still deadly, but like the problem is that no one can keep the Yunara safe, right? Like either like somebody has to be willing to tank up all of Silas's stun, all of the Ahri charm, and if no one does that, right, and the Yunara gets hit by one instance of CC, that's all that Ahri and Silas really need to just pounce right on to that prime target, especially because no one else on the side of Gamblers seems to really be generating threat.
Yep, that's completely true. I mean, Winter is a damaged top laner, but we see 7 looking for the fight on your welcome, who didn't have the ulti available, so it was likely that they could trade back, but that is still a very dangerous Ahri with the flash and the ignite, as we see the Baron waves just constantly slamming into these turrets. Mid lane tier 2 is going to get taken down, likely, as we see the flash pulverize into the knockback, but it's just on frisky MMO. The exhaust goes out, the Glacial Fissure is good to disengage for a bit. Fox looking for the shockwave, drags back in the Braum, so that's one kill traded over. Cannon Barrage even invested for that, so a lot of key ultimates used just for that support, as you wouldn't get it. Taking some light poke from Winter, but he's 2 levels ahead. Can Zaf make the difference? He's running down, has the movement speed from the bush, jumps in. Those Zanya's popped, and now it's Rexcat here. Rexcat knocked away. It's the flash out from, you wouldn't get it, but he gets the abscond abduct, but it's not enough. Winter finally gets a trade back on his top laner, but no, you're welcome. Gets the full combo onto 7 who face checked the bush and gets obliterated, as we see Zaf try to go in. The Zeri jumps over the wall and blasts them apart as well. It's the late ulti from Blind Hookers trying to buy time for his team, and it's not going to do much, as he's just going to go down. A very late ultimate from them. Likely didn't expect that level of burst, but you're welcome. Again, like you said, this Ahri True is just an absolute terror. There's multiple people on the team that you should be worried about, but you're welcome. Just playing a fantastic game, just finding every single pick on the Yunara when they need to.
Yeah, and now you're contending with this Ahri, who is 14-1-4, 24 stacks on the Medjai's. Like, we were talking about how unapproachable Yunara was, but at this point it really feels like Ahri is as equally, if not even more so at this point. Just because, like, you're so capable of pumping out damage, and this is not, your Roa, like, stay on the edge of the fight Ahri build, where, you're kind of tanky, but you're also, like, just a general threat. No, this Ahri is like, I'm going to kill you. Like, I land a charm, you're probably going to die. I have a high degree of burst with that charm, with that Lichbane proc. Has 4 completed items plus boots, only needs 1 more item to round out the build at 24.5 minutes. It's ridiculous how dangerous your welcome is on the map.
Absolutely. You thought it was the AD carries that got bonus income, but I think with how much your welcome has been farming champions on this Ahri, I think that's enough to make up the difference. But speaking of AD carries and income, Reindeer Smolder had a pretty quiet game, did get dove a lot early, did lose the 2v2, but has quietly scaled to about 3 items, so they've caught up to only being half an item behind on 7 gen, which is pretty big, meaning that's another threat, right? This Kindred, this Zeri, we did say Gladiators does not have a frontline, but what they lack in frontline, they make up for in damage, because look at this, roster, right? They have multiple AD carries now with the Kindred, who likely has a ton of stacks. Not sure what the stack count is on that, but the Ahri, if you kill her, you still have the fully, 3-item Zeri for the team fight to take care of later, and the Kindred. So it seems like Gladiators just have enough members that do damage that even if you take out one threat, I kind of doubt that Gamblers can take the fight after, just due to how far behind their solo laners are.
By the way, I did check. That's a 10 stack Kindred. That's a
Oh
lot.
my god. So I think that's the third breakpoint, if I'm not mistaken, as Fox getting dove under turret. It's the Sombrero, as you wouldn't get it, just barely doesn't have enough damage, but no, it's going to be the Ignite killing them. They just stunt on him with the golden form, as you wouldn't get it, gets another solo kill. They're just the solo kill king in this game, taking out Fox, who's having not so great performance on the Orianna, just barely finished the second item after that skirmish. Yeah, like we said, not a lot of threat. Like you said, what'd you say, true 10 stacks? That's the second breakpoint of the Kindred, so probably has more auto attack range than the Zeri now, if I'm going to be honest with you. And yeah, that does a lot of bonus damage to the Mounting Dread and the Wolf's Frenzy. So Rexcat, very scary threat to be dealt with. And Zaf, it feels like as they got later into the game, don't have a lot of impact. So as we see multiple people on this Baron, it's the TP out from You Wouldn't Get It. As we see the collapse, it's the flash over from Zaf. Actually, they really want this Silas, but he's just going to walk away from it. There's no threat on him at all without 7gen there, who was just too far away to get in range. And Zaf wasted 2 key cooldowns right before the possible Baron fight, as you're welcome, looking for the charm. Oh, just barely gets tanked by the minion, as Baron is now up. It's likely it's just going to melt against this team. So yeah, second Baron of the game, just already at 26 minutes. They're on Soul Point as well in 2.5. Cannon Barrage actually doing pretty good damage to Reindeer Smolder and Rexcat, but I don't know if it's enough. This has to be a miracle fight now, as Blind Hooker's looking for You Wouldn't Get It. 7gen walking up on your welcome, but no, it's the Baron taking your welcome, jumping on a 7gen and just fully burst them. Doesn't even need the charm, as Zaf gets exhausted. On the other side of the fight, You Wouldn't Get It's getting chased down, as wow, Zaf just disappears as the Unbreakable Will is popped. Fox, no threat in this game. It's the real Fox that's hunting you, as we see the Abscond Abduct get a second target. Blind Hooker's now trying to buy time for his team, as it's only Winter alive, but he gets chased down. That cow is going to greener pastures as he gets hunted down by the real Fox in this game. It's your welcome on the 9-tailed Fox, as Winter's the sole defense against this Baron up 5-man. He has the barrels, but he doesn't have the ult. I don't think he can do it, as the ulti is stolen. You Wouldn't Get It now has the Cannon Barrage, as the entire team of Team Gladiators is knocking on the front door. Might this be the first game for the team? I'm not sure if they want to keep pushing. They are going to back off for now, but I mean, Dragon Soul in a minute 30, they're I think over 10k gold ahead at this point. There is not much that they could do wrong to lose this game.
Yeah, I mean, like in this situation, right, in the last fight, 7gen pretty much just gets marked by your welcome, and no one can keep the Yunara safe. Like, admittedly, Alistar isn't present there, but if Alistar is your peel tool, then you're in a bad spot, right? Like, and even if you do headbutt Ahri away as Alistar, she'll probably still have a Spirit Rush charge available, or she'll charm you afterwards for headbutting you away, and that, like, at that point, your welcome still gets a kill. Oh dear, Blind Hookers.
Rexcat knocked Blind Hookers into the pit, who uses the headbutt over. It's just going to be a free farm on this cow. I made enough beef jokes already, but that's going to be just another hamburger on the plate for the side of Rexcat, who's just super well farmed this game. Extremely powerful. Like you said, 10, probably like 12 stacks now at this point on the Kindred, as it's just going to be, I think, Team Gamblers having to clear the waves and waiting for their inevitable demise, unless they can risk the craziest steal we've seen in this league.
I mean, like, even a crazy steal doesn't really get you that much, right? Like, you extend the timer out, but at this point, like, it kind of just feels like gladiators are playing with their food a little bit. They know that they're strong, and they kind of know that they can do just about anything that they want at this point, I think.
Oh, Fox getting cornered under this turret. This is not the space, but he only hits the shockwave onto one. Not sure what I'm casting, but now you're welcome. Going in on the Silas, hitting the Cyclone. 7-Gen getting a lot of uptime. Zaf, can they make the difference? Cyclone into the backline as Winter gets a lot of damage. 7-Gen actually kiting this out. The Zonya's popped, but the Lamb's respite keeps multiple members alive. You wouldn't get it. Looking for the Abscond Abduct as it's going to be the last charge of the Spirit Rush used. Honestly, a 4-for-1 is probably the best team fight you're going to get as Team Gamblers, but it's not going to be enough. The huge Lamb's respite means the entire backline of Team Gladiators survives, and it's just 7-Gen playing a 1v9 game like he has the rest of this game. Sorry, I take that back. It's been a 3v7 as we see they're trying to clear the wave with the stack, but they get hit with one stun and it's game over for them. Gladiators taking it in a very decisive win after taking out the Yunara. We're gonna take it to game 2 as it's over a 13k gold lead for Team Gladiators, and it's gonna be Gamblers wanting that one back in the next game.
Oh man, I mean, I know that.
What is up, folks? Thank you for rejoining us. Unfortunately, we did have some issues with the stream technology as League of Legends client continues to be a pain in the ass, as we're going to jump back into game 2 between Team Gladiators, who took the first win, and Team Gamblers, who are looking to roll the dice, get lucky, and win game 2. Right before the break, it was True and I just discussing really briefly what teams we'd rather have in draft, and we said there's going to be no level 1 shenanigans, but Gladiators looking to push into that topside jungle and drop some wards. Yeah, True, just want to really quickly reiterate, I think you had on paper the Gamblers, they have a great team comp, but yeah, let's see if they can pull it off this game.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get to like lay down a prediction. I did say my. Oh wait, 7-Gen hookers. Oh no, no.
You just queue a minion?
You queued a minion and it didn't bounce to anybody.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, you got a nice bounce there.
Yeah. I mean, like MF players, I think live and die by how efficiently their Q bounces, and when you see it miss, it's like a little bit tilting for the MF player.
That's totally fair.
I do like the move from 7-Gen and Blind Hookers just pushing forward, right? Fox, oh dear.
Oh no. This might be a repeat of last game, as Fox already getting blasted by the Weirding, taking a chunk out, already popping the early potion. But Zenith played on that level 2 power spike, 7-Gen and Blind Hookers being very aggressive. Reindeer Smolder taken to about 40% HP, 7-Gen still very healthy. As we see Fox trying to avoid the poke. Nice movement from them. I hope they buy tier 2 boots earlier this game, but time will have to tell. As, ooh, another double up lands on Reindeer Smolder. Big damage. Very heavy push on this bot side. I think, yeah, this game 2 is going to go very similar to game 1 if this early game is any indication of that, as Winter's trying to trade back. It's a pretty big minion wave, my brother, and he's only level 2. Just barely ticks over level 3 from that kill, but you wouldn't get it. Getting actually a lot of push on this early game, as Winter trying to trade back with the Electro Harpoons. Flashes in with the overheat. Actually gets the auto attack for first blood. He baited so hard, even the casters thought he was inting it, but Winter with a beautiful flash on top. As soon as he overheats with that flame spitter for the solo kill, before you wouldn't get it, could even react. So nice job from them.
Yeah, I mean, like, making the decisive play, using the fact that you have Ignite and the Galio doesn't, does mean that Winter comes away with that first blood. And you can see that you wouldn't get it. TP's back to lane after purchasing Darksteel. So certainly doesn't seem to have given up necessarily on the path of aggression that they were on in game number 1, but you certainly can't execute it in the same way this time around. Like, the enhanced damage from Flame Spitter for Rumble, but then also the auto attacks that you get because you get such a big attack speed buff too, feel really, really nice to have. You can see you wouldn't get it just crashing the wave into turret, making sure that Winter misses out on as much as possible. But yeah, that Rumble, still really happy with how things went very early on there.
Absolutely. Winter's in a pretty good spot. Already has the Faded Ashes on that early purchase, so probably going to just, you know, very early rush of that Leandri's or Riftmaker. As we see, we caster Cursed him as he's getting ganked right now. Rexcat looking for that last bite, has the lethal tempo. I think it's just a nice, okay. Probably didn't need a flash for it, but flash auto attack to secure the kill. Rexcat picking up his first kill of the game. Rexcat on a bear champion, so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I mean, Winter doesn't have TB to get back to this. If you wouldn't get it, can get this lane pushed in. I think it's a pretty good crash, but I think Winter's going to make it in time because, yeah, this Galio does not have a lot of mana for that push. Fox actually not getting a teleport timer, sorry, recall timer, so you're welcome getting that. Also picking up the Dark Seal, so just they're thinking their lanes are also going to go similarly to last game. So yeah, but I think Fox is doing a lot better so far in the first couple minutes of the game here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in game number 1, Fox will have already died once, maybe twice, and actually, you know, coming away with a slight CS lead at the moment. Although I think that wave crashing in might turn things towards your Welcome's CS advantage. But things are quiet between both of these teams. Yes, there's been some action there in the top lane, but as far as bottom lane goes, as far as mid lane goes, not nearly as bloodthirsty and as aggressive as game number 1.
Yeah, pretty even, and Fox is able to trade pretty effectively with the Bouncing Bomb and the Minefield. The auto's also empowered by the passive, as it's actually pretty up on that trade. Now Blind Hooker's making the roam. He was spotted by the ward as You're Welcome looking for it. Flash Zenith Blade has to get flashed away from You're Welcome. Just, sorry, yeah, You're Welcome running away from that. So trade a flash for flash means there's a lot less kill pressure on the Ziggs. Fox getting bailed out by the support, I think, is a great look from Blind Hookers to make it so it's not a repeat of game 1, as Zaf getting a very early dragon means that, yeah, that early stacking of that already at 5.5 minutes as we see the repeat gank on it. The flash into the EQ combo. Fox taken very low, though, drops the Mega Inferno before they die as they flash away from the Volley Bear. Volley Bear now turning attention to Zaf. Very nice play from the mid-jungle duo as the Zenith Blade goes in. Zaf, I don't think you want to look for that, brother, as Blind Hookers is just going to tank up a little bit and annoy the bear. Poke the bear. Is he going to die here? I don't think so. I sure hope not, as Rexcat chunking him very low. The TP comes out from Fox, though, as the TP from You're Welcome goes in. You're Welcome doesn't have it doesn't have Ignite this game, so a lot less kill pressure there too, as we see You're Welcome looking for something on Blind Hooker, is taken very low, knocked away from that twofold hex, gets the plate, but Fox is able to clear the wave enough. As we see on the top side, there's fighting here as well, as Winter drops the equalizer after the engage. You wouldn't get it, gets killed in a solo bolo for the second time. It's Winter coming back with revenge in this game too, getting another kill on their lane opponent. Nice look from them to turn it around, as we see Rexcat maybe overstayed here. Look for the red buff, gets stunned up by that Shield of Daybreak, and now Zaf is just going to get an easy kill on them, bonked down by the spear as the exhaust was dropped, and Blind Hookers is, you know, making a lot of things happen on this map so far. Great roaming timers from them, as it's going to be 7gen just easily farming up the wave. I mean, a bit of pressure bought, but I mean, they're equal in CS. They're not dead, so really good moves from Gamblers on the map.
Yeah, absolutely, Gamblers. I think this is kind of more to the effect of the game they wanted to have in game number 1. Between themselves, you know, solo lanes are not hard inting it, so to speak. The Rumble's in a good position, the J4's in a good position, and your Ziggs is not getting pressured out.
Oh, Frisky! Oh my gosh, Frisky tanks another turret shot. No, Ray, there's
no!
one flash and missed the Mystic shot! 7gen lives with the smallest amount of health that has got to be single-digit HP numbers. An absolute tragedy for the bot side of Gladiators, as they had everything going. The true shot barrage was flashed away from, but they did not hit the last Mystic shot, and that means it's just going to be Blind Hookers picking up the kill. The Ezreal dying for pretty much nothing. And yeah, the bot lane of Gamblers is very happy to have won out on that bet.
Yeah, I mean, if you are Gladiators in that situation, like, it's a thin margin by which you lost, but now certainly something you need to be more cognizant of. See Zaf up here towards the top lane and taking a look at how these lanes are doing. Yes, that Galio is not doing nearly as well as Silas did game number 1. Like, you do see a slight advantage for Aurora in terms of farming and mid lane, but you know, we were talking earlier, Kevin, before getting into the game, that Ezreal's a bit of a, hey, if you fall behind on this champion, they're going to feel pretty useless until late game. And it certainly feels like we might be seeing that in this.
Yeah, now we're seeing some very interesting macro from the Gamblers. They sent their bot side to mid even before the quests popped off, and now the hero's entrance popped up the bullet time onto multiple members as You're Welcome doesn't even get to jump through with the ulti as you wouldn't get it, gets knocked down. He does get it. It's a bullet in the back as we see Rexcat making a final desperate attempt, but it's not enough. Winter popped the equalizer. Zaf got the spicy hot pot combo, and the bullet time was just so perfectly placed. And look, bot side, you can't even get any turret pressure because Fox is clearing out the waves. That is a beautiful map movements from the side of Gamblers, making it so they win the Herald fight. They get multiple kills off the back of that as well, and that's Void Grub secured for, yeah, what is pretty much a blowout early game in all accounts for side of Gamblers. Really great early game from all lanes, not just bottom lane, in contrast to game 1.
Yeah, I mean, things are just going so much better for Gamblers this time around. As you said, like, they really kind of feel like they're firing on all cylinders at this point. Like, it's not to say that Gladiators are doing absolutely nothing from behind. They're not, like, hard floundering it. It just feels like this game feels a lot different. And we're seeing the strength of that composition that Gamblers have put together just being more cohesive in general is panning out quite well for them. We got another fight here in bot lane.
Yeah, another fight, but it's a pretty big wave, and Frisky Mo is quite tanky, gets the stun with that tongue lash, misses the knockup off the Abyssal Dive, so Zaf is going to walk him down, has the knockup combo, misses the Zenith Blade, the flash in from Blind Hookers, but we see the roam from multiple members. Rexcat running towards it, You're Welcome running towards it, the Solar Flare goes out, stuns the Volley Bear, but Blind Hookers in a very compromised position. Flash onto 7gen as we get the kill onto the Tom Kench from Zaf, but it's cleanup duty for You're Welcome, who just takes 2. Is it going to be a third? Zaf pops the Golden Aegis, can he live this? Oh, barely gets out of the twofold hex, so he's going to live, but You're Welcome just came down for an easy roam into a double kill, likely putting them back on the pace of this game, so a bit too much aggression from Gamblers in this bot side. The Misfortune did not have ulti for that fight, neither did Jarvan, so the combo just wasn't there, and they put so much into the Tom Kench, who stalled out for so long, it was able, the team of Gladiators were able to just back up their little catfish thing and make the play turn around in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a breath of fresh air for the side of Gladiators to get something of a fight win for themselves. But they do have a lot of work still cut out for them. They are still roughly 2.6k gold behind. The Dragon is nice to get because it stalls out the stacking. But at the end of the day, they're still in a somewhat precarious position, right? You know, you're still contending with the 3-1 Rumble. It was 4-0-2
5 in. Frisky's in a 1v2 here. As we see in the mid lane, it's a 2v1 against You're Welcome. As, yeah, there's just not enough members on the map as the Volley Bear did go top. It's going to be a chase down on Winter through the lane as Winter has to flash out. Gets enough from the Scrap Shield to run away, but that is flash burned on in a mobile champion like the Rumble. Fox getting engaged on now. You're Welcome hits him with the twofold, hits him with the Weirding for big damage with the Electrocute. Fox likely is going to have to go back here as, yeah, like you said, a lot of work to be done for this game in the side of Gladiators, but it's not looking too bad right now, but they're going to have to think of ways to turn this game around.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of ways that, like, a pathway to turn this game around, you do see that Volibear does have that Dusk and Dawn completed, which is a lot of combat power, especially for 1v1s and skirmishes. But the other thing I think that's kind of worrying for the side of for Gladiators is that the Ezreal is really not getting off the ground like you wanted it to. Like, yes, he's 0, 1, and 2, but he's also not, like, the hard carry that your team needs at the moment. That's the other thing.
Yeah, I mean, there is no front line for the side of Gamblers, so maybe if Reindeer Smolder can get, you know, the 2 or 3 item mark where they start doing a lot of damage with the poke, I think that's when the Ezreal comes online at 7 gen, and Frisky looking for this again. Solar Flare on the Tom Kench, who's very tanky. The bullet time fully channeled. Flash out from the TK, who goes back in with the Abyssal Dive. Reindeer Smolder now shifting aggressively in. Can they get 7 gen? It was get this the Devour off, doing some decent damage as we see 7 gen flashes into the ultimate, but they still get the kill on Frisky, but now it's going to be the gank from Rexcat, meaning he just dunks on him with the Stormbringer. It's a double kill. I think you might have cast or cursed him, True, because Reindeer Smolder now is off the ground on the Ezreal. 2 kills for that bottom lane play, as again, so much damage was invested on that Tom Kench. Ezreal just gets the free hit non-stop, but now the action continues as we see Zaf looking for Your Welcome. I think he pops the ultimate here. No, okay, he pops it right now, but the hero's entrance into the Mega Inferno Bomb. Your Welcome just barely alive here. Do they have enough damage to kill Zaf? I'm not sure, as it's a pretty tank forward Galio. Zaf just healing off the fruit, looking for the engage again. Flag and Drag, it's a flash away from You Wouldn't Get It as he gets the Justice Punch into the engage, but the Sundered Sky Proc keeps him alive. Zaf just barely living. Call it Demacia Part 2, baby, as you're welcome, taking very low from that bouncing bomb. Just a nice engage from the top side, and the collapse from Winter on that play to make it so that they win out, as we see more fighting. This bot lane just loves fighting, I guess, as they don't even have a turret here to keep them safe. Frisky looking for the dive, maybe. Reindeer Smolder dodges out on the Solar Flare, but gets hit with the Zenith Blade. 7gen trying to fire, gets knocked up. Blind Hooker's taken very low. This Ezreal is fully activated, but no, he just gets blasted. Oh my god, the lethality on this MF just kills him as it's a 2v1. The TP comes out from You Wouldn't Get It. He's going to pop up for the Winds of Ore, and it's just another double kill. They're just farming the bottom lane, but somehow Gamblers keep wanting to go for the fight. It's going to be a 2 for 1 in the bottom lane. Yeah, so 7gen dying again. 2 kills picked up on You Wouldn't Get It, but that is the teleport used for that, meaning Winter gets free time on the top side.
Yeah, I mean, You Wouldn't Get It more than happy to like nab up those kills on the backside of it. But the other thing was that you're kind of seeing Tahm Kench kind of hard to chew through when you're able to effectively health stack, and that's kind of what's happening. That the side of Gamblers is starting to have to contend with. Oh wait, Winter might be in trouble.
Though. Yeah, Winter, I think, is going to be dead meat here as he's going to get melted. He's trying to turn this around with the Flame Spitter, with the Danger Zone, but can't get it. It's going to be a chomp down from Rexcat, who does, like you said, have the power spike of the Dusk and Dawn. Is very scary now, as we see slowly. Gladiators are making really good plays around the map to turn things around. I think Zaf needs to get a bit more involved and start to match this Volibear in terms of the ganks.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit hard for Zaf to want to be aggressive to a certain degree because you have that shutdown available and you don't want to int it over. But I do agree with you. Like, J4 is like on a bit of a timer in terms of like relevance to damage. I would say like you have maybe 10 to 15 more good minutes as J4. Oh, wait.
Oh, Solar Flare just goes out on Reindeer Smolder, who's just going to kite this out. Zaf now caught between 2 targets, gets the Flag and Drag into the Cataclysm, into the Mega Inferno Bomb, but Frisky gets the ulti to devour Rexcat to keep them safe. Rexcat goes down to another bouncing bomb, though. Fox finally getting the pounce on the Catfish and the Bear. That is some National Geographic on my screen as he gets a double kill. Nice backup of his mid laner means Zaf survives, keeps that shutdown alive, like you said, True. And that's just all cash money for the side of Team Gamblers, and that means top side for this Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, like, Gamblers looking a lot healthier this time around, but the gold is actually still somewhat close, right? Like, we're only looking at, you know, roughly 600, 700 gold separating these two teams. That's really just like 1 or 2 kills here and there, and I think both teams, they want to angle for this Ocean Drake.
Away, but now You Wouldn't Get It, getting jumped on by the team. He pops the hero's entrance, but he doesn't even get the full channel. Tries to get the Uber back home, but Foxcat is, can't save him from that trip. So it's going to be the 3rd Dragon Soul point. Ocean Dragon Soul secured for... Oh my god, guys, hit your smite. But Gamblers is going to take that as it's a Flash Solar Flare getting the slow. Blind Hooker's looking for the Zenith Blade. It follows the weirding. That's just going to be a full channel of the bullet time. No, you're welcome, Liz, with 5 HP. Or that was just... I think 7gen just could have done more damage if he auto-attacked him, but no, that's going to be ult for ult traded, and you're welcome just barely lives there. That was the flash ulti invested by the Leona, and now on the other side, Zaf just smites the bear, turns him into a fursuit as Zaf is looking for the fight. Mega Inferno Bomb wasted, not wasted actually, on this Tahm Kench, who just goes down without the gray health, and now over the wall, the knockup goes in on Reindeer Smolder. Zaf, you did what we were asking of you, buddy, and he's everywhere on the map, turning the team fights around for Team Gamblers, as it's going to be 7gen picking up that money. That is pressure on the mid lane turret now, going to likely fall as, yeah, just big money coming out from all sides of Gamblers. They're just making very proactive plays, which is what you want to see out of this team in the mid game.
Yeah, I mean, it really does feel like Gamblers, they've bounced back in a big way this time around. They're neutralizing their opponents pretty much across the map. And I wouldn't say that they're, they're playing the game perfectly or they're making 0 mistakes. But they are doing a very good job for themselves, especially securing this lead. They're really trying to do their best to hold on to it. I do think, you have to be concerned to some degree about the Aurora, about the Ezreal. Aurora can just be so bursty. Ezreal has not actually been completely neutralized, and I think Ezreal on his own is still quite a bit of a threat. So those are the things that Gamblers needs to keep in mind, especially when you have to factor in J4's damage is going down. Eventually, J4 is just a tool to enable your MF and enable your Rumble. You can't really rely on the damage that J4 can pump out, I would say, post like 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, totally agree with you there, True. I mean, Jarvan does kind of have that catastrophic fall off in the late game damage department, while Galio and Volibear only get infinitely more useful. And especially looking at the builds here, I'm not sure how you feel about them, True, but 7gen did go for the full lethality build, so a lot of upfront burst, but in a consistent team fight, if he's not able to get the full channel of the bullet time, I'm not sure how useful he'll be, especially as we get into the late game. Like right now, it does a lot, but later, if you let it draw out, it's not going to be a ton. And Winter, hopefully he's going for something like the Bloodletter's Curse, because I think Fox is going to have to carry a lot of the late game damage for the team. Like you said, Jarvan, MF have to get the combo offer. That's not a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, it does behoove Gamblers that their comp is so good at setting up, though. Because it's not just the J4 that you have to be concerned about, it's the Leona, too. And as long as one of them is around, they have the ability to control fights quite well. Especially because they have that lead, they have 3 dragons. Like, I would say that if you're Gladiators, you're really feeling the pressure at the moment. Because you don't want Soul, especially Ocean Soul, to go over for free. You're welcome in a bit of trouble, though.
Okay, we walk into some trouble as You're Welcome has to flash away out of the Cataclysm, but that is 2 ultis used. Mega Inferno Bomb a bit premature there from Fox, as 7gen taken a bit low from the Ezreal poke, but can heal up pretty decently. I think they're probably going Legend Bloodline, as they're going to get set up over this next dragon. I mean, just while I have time to talk about it, True. Shout out to Blind Hookers for making such great map plays. I think they did a lot to make sure Fox didn't get set super far behind, and did a ton to just make sure the Jarvan Zaf had like more setup for the plays. So shout out to Blind Hookers for having a great game too.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think over time, like, you will still see the Gladiators can be somewhat dangerous. I mean, like, oh, wait.
Wait, are they looking for the 1v1? Fox taken very low. It's the Hextech Proto Belt getting You're Welcome in range. Hits the Weirding. Doesn't have the ulti, though, because they did use that to escape. Fox now luring in the Rabbit. That is going to be the Solar Flare, not getting the stun, but I don't think it's going to matter, as You're Welcome looking for something, getting knocked up. They're going to get blasted apart by 7gen's pistols, as, oh my god, is this just a rush on the Baron? They have no vision on it, and I don't think Winter's going to check, so there's multiple people in the bot side. This could be the huge turnaround that they need for it. They have no idea. This is a great sneaky Baron. I think it's going to work out here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you have to have some idea that it's happening. You're realizing that no one's responding. So it is going to be Gladiators coming away with the Baron. You're Welcome being the sacrificial rabbit, so to speak. And I think that's a reasonable trade if you are... I think that's a reasonable trade if you are the side of Gladiators, right? Like, okay, sure, we lose mid lane, we lose You're Welcome, we lose towers bot lane, but we do come away with the Baron. We're able to redeploy onto the map in time. Unfortunately, like, I do have chat enabled in my game. It looks like it might be a potential medical emergency for a family member, person, or somewhat one of the players, but that might be resolved just about right now. Hopefully whatever's going on there is going okay. But I think that if you are gamblers looking at this situation, like, you're not entirely upset, right? You cracked open a lot of bottom lane for yourselves. You have superior setup, like they already have vision set up for themselves around their potential soul. Like, Gladiators, you're still in this like mindset that you need to rush back out onto the map, right? Like, yes, you got Baron, so you're able to get your backs off, but now you have to redeploy, you have to sweep out vision, and you're looking at another situation where your comp, once again, is not exactly the team fighting comp, but you also can't let Soul go for free.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't let Soul go over for free, so likely a lot of that Baron time is going to be used for the Dragon Soul contest, and the amount of gold that Gamblers got from that bottom lane plate, it was tier 1 turret, tier 2 turret, and the kill on the Aurora. I think from what I last saw before we swapped over screens, but 7gen's Misfortune did complete the full Lord Dominic's regards. That is such a huge power spike for a champion that relies on lethality. So practically Misfortune is a full item ahead and is doing true damage to her opponent. So that's going to be very, very scary for the side of Gladiators, and they're going to have to contest this fight. Other scenario, they could maybe play for the side lane with the Baron buff, but I don't think that's the right play, especially if it's, you know, a permanent buff going over and you don't already have a lot of damage to kill the opposing team, right? Because Ocean Soul just makes it so hard for you to get a kill unless you fully burst them through. And Your Welcome did go for a bit of a more combat oriented, like a long combat, bit of a battle mage build with the Leandries and the Proto Belt, so I don't think they can one-shot anyone if this soul is going to happen. We're going to have to see the TP goes out. Fox needs to channel TP, I think, early. Yep, okay, so Fox TP'd over. They're on the dragon. It's about 4k. Rex Cat is in position. And they do have the
you have to go now.
Yeah, you have to go. No, it's just instantly smited now. Rex Cat just had to look in the face of the dragon take, and it goes down. They didn't even get anything off the Baron push. So unfortunately, just a bit of a macro error from the side of Gladiators, meaning they lose that permanent soul. They lose a big avenue, for them to possibly get back into the game. And I think it's just, I think Gamblers are so happy that they didn't. They don't need the Baron. As we see the flash, Solar Flare misses. You're welcome. Had to invest. Actually, didn't invest anything. So just a nice use of the fancy feat there. As flash is down for Blind Hookers. Will not have that for the next team fight.
Yeah, but at this point, if you are the side of Gladiators, your job is so much more difficult, right? Like you have to contend with an enemy team that,
whoa. The Zenith Blade misses, but they're just hard forcing this. Blind Hookers, oh my god, 7gen just blasting apart Frisky, sorry. Frisky Ghost takes him very low. Now Foxcat jumps out of the Cataclysm, but now the bullet time on the other end, as it's just on two sides. These two champions are just eviscerating the enemy team. Reindeer Smolder caught up. The equalizer is there. 7gen flashes forward for the autos and takes a huge chunk out of the Ezreal. The flash knock up from Jarvan. Zaf is unstoppable as we see, oh my god, Blind Hookers almost hit that Zenith Blade, but the Ezreal just barely gets out with the Arcane Shift. It was so much aggression, True, from the side of Gladiators, and I do not think they had the wallets to back up that level of machismo, because they just lost 3 members for nothing.
I mean, what's perplexing to me there, right, is that when you see Aurora, like, throw everything out, right, misses between worlds, tries to use it to, like, gap close, doesn't land, the weirding, like, why are we still forcing? Right, we just invested some of our most potent and, like, damage-oriented tools. Why are we forcing with Abyssal Dive from Tom Kench? Or why are we trying to pressure on the side with the Volley Bear? Like, it makes no sense to me to force that fight after you've given up Soul, and then you're like, okay, we've given up Soul, let's force the fight now, especially when you know the enemy team hasn't completely split up yet. So, a bit of a perplexing and, like, hard overforce, like, at least as it appears to me. The other thing is that Frisky MMO is not getting tanky enough, fast enough as does Tom Kench. Like, I understand that, like, you do, like, Warmogs feels really good to get as Tom Kench, or sorry, not Warmogs, Hearthsteel. But, like, it's not a fast item. Oh, dear.
Rex Cat. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, True, but as we see here, the double knockup on 7gen, but they just don't have the damage. Reindeer Smolder gets exhausted as a huge knockup goes in. The equalizer
7gen, they got him.
Now, yeah, between worlds, they got him. 7gen does go down, but Fox is blasting with the bombs. Zaf is one of the carries in on themselves as Winter's chasing down Your Welcome. Protobelt away as Fox gets the kill on Reindeer Smolder as Blind Hookers just barely lives. They invested so much. They got the Misfortune, actually, but Winter and Fox are here as Winter sees them recalling, gets the Electro Harpoon, gets a second one, will not commit further for the kill. But like you said, they finally get 7gen, but there's just so much use. There's still multiple carries on the side of Gamblers. Even Zaf right now still has damage as the enemy team's just too far behind to really deal with the Jarvan right now as he's tearing apart the team with the knockups, and Winter just throws down the equalizer and pretty much chunks out your entire team.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're able to get one target, which, as we both mutually agree on, it's great. You found like one of those primary targets you need to kill, but, like, you're still addressing the issue of, like, a huge bounty sitting on Zaf as well as a significant one on Fox. So those are the two targets that, like, ideally Gladiators want to take out. They want those bounties. They want that gold in their pockets, but it's just so hard to kill the Ziggs. And as you said, the J4 is still relatively tanky, still somewhat relevant in terms of damage, especially considering how low the damage composition is for Gladiators. And now their front line's getting caught out.
Oh, Solar Flare out to devour on to keep the bear safe, but now it's a nice satchel to blast him back in. Cataclysm into the Stormbringer keeps Rexcat alive for now. Mega Inferno Bomb chunking him out. Reindeer Smolder still untouched though, but so is 7gen. As, yeah, I mean, you can walk away from the fight limping, but Gamblers, they have the Ocean Soul. Zaf now looking for more vision control here. They're trying to siege on this mid wave as 7gen is just running around with the strut. One auto to this turret would chunk out the crystalline plating as Zaf is going for the flank. I don't think they should go for this alone. Nice buffer out of the taunt as he's getting run down, but yeah, they just can't really catch Zaf. They can't invest more resources because their mid lane turret's getting knocked down, as it's just going to be a full reset from the side of Gamblers. Baron Nashor spawns in 15 seconds, and Elder spawns in a minute. I think, oh my god, they might have caught Blind Hookers here, as Blind Hookers has popped the Eclipse. It's a big damage onto them. Body blocking from Zaf. The TP does go in. You wouldn't get it, as it's actually the Between Worlds just used. Fox is now laying down covering fire, as they can't get Blind Hookers, as we see Zaf tanking up the taunt hit. 7gen is on the other side. The Solar Flare onto multiple members, and a huge equalizer into the bullet time gets your welcome. The hero's entrance hits nothing, as we see Fox fails flash over the wall, but it doesn't matter as he gets the kill anyway. Winter on the backside, barbecuing the side of Team Gladiators, as it's going to be a quadra kill for 7gen as they clean up every single kill from the fight. It is trying, it is an effort from the Gladiators, but just like 300, I think they're going to go down dead, baby, as it's going to be 7gen, just the richest man on the roster. He's not even going to join his team for this, what is looking like an endgame push. Team Gamblers managed to bait them in, and Blind Hookers just mind-controlled, I guess, Gladiators into taking that fight into the corridor against Ziggs, MF, Rumble, and I think it's just going to be everything on the side of Team Gladiators going down to this push. Oh, maybe not. Okay, they're just going to go for Elder. Not quite everything, but almost everything.
Base gets cracked open. You know, the mid lane inhibitor, or sorry, the bot lane inhibitor turret is destroyed. And it doesn't really look like Gladiators are going to redeploy out onto the map fast enough. Already, you know, 33% taken off of the Elder's health here.
Go down. This has to be a flash over.
He's going in.
Can he do it? He cannot get the smite, and he's just a sad bear. Gets blown apart by the Elder execute. 7gen just you know, big game hunting on this misfortune. Rexcat not having the game they wanted, had a really good game last game, but right now Zaf is getting the better of them. He's just going to go in 1v3, hits the Cataclysm. Fox from the other side, dropping the bouncing bombs. Zaf is taken so low, but he flashes out to survive. The Elder execute onto twos. Fox is the one who's the hunter this time, takes down the rabbit, gets a fresh kill, and I think that's going to be the push for the end here, Drew.
Yeah, I mean, that ought to be it, right? Like, you know, like, yes, the death timers are not profoundly long. Like, Rexcat will come up, but you're playing into Elder, and there's really not much that Gladiators comp can do here. They're trying to cut the wave, not really going to work out.
Yeah, Rexcat is back alive to get the taunt on turret, but the bullet time into the equalizer does so much damage. They're laying out the red carpet. As we see here, they flash under to get the kill onto the Galio, as well as the Nexus goes down in sparks. A great bounce back game from the side of Gamblers, especially Fox going 7-0 and 9, unkillable on this Ziggs. A very stark contrast to last game. Nice game 2 from Gamblers to bring it back in the series as we go to the faded. You know, it's always us, True, to game 3 in Franchise Premier League. Not lie to you, it's Kevin Nook and True casting your last game of the night between Team Gamblers and Team Gladiators here for the last game of week 4, not of season 3, but week 4, season 3 here. As
already,
not playoffs yet, no, as teams are fighting for their placements in playoffs. But just looking at these champions, looking at the summoner spells, Rexcat going for the Dark Harvest, likely going to go for something like that Lethality Graves, and Winter not actually having the TP, so early punishes on the top side might be a big deal. True, how do we feel about these matchups?
I mean, okay, so like I said, top lane is kind of going to be predicated by how intelligently Vladimir is using Pool, right? Like, if you use that too aggressively, or you use it at the wrong time, or you're charging up your E too often, you chew through your health. Like, I believe casting Pool is like something like 20% of current HP for Vladimir. So you have to be strategic with that use. The other thing is that because of the top lane changes and you get TP for free, like having the double mobility spells on Vladimir feels really nice. You see champions like similar to Darius actually going for that as well because you have Flash and Ghost available. Your ability to either stay safe or just chase an enemy target down is extremely potent. I do agree with your assessment about Rexcat likely wanting to go for a more lethality-oriented build, but here's an early engage from level 2.
The flash knockup already from blind hookers as well makes Frisky have to jump back as we see the crash down, forcing up the flash from Reindeer Smolder. They did not think that cooldown would be up so soon, so very early level 2 prio means, you know, they've gotten every game, but now just forced out an early summoner on this Kaisa. Oh my god, the Hex Flash just in his face. He really wants that knockup.
Yeah, I mean, Hookers is trying to be as aggressive as possible because you hit that early level 2, you know that you forced out the flash from the Kaisa, and then you're in mid lane, you're actually seeing. You're welcome being aggressive into Fox, that's something that we kind of expected. The other thing here is that, like, for Jinx Rel, if you are able to hit that level 2 and you are able to dictate and be a bit more aggressive, that does give you that opportunity to hard force just like this.
Oh, we see a fight on the bot side. Hopefully we can pan to that, but it's going to be first blood actually over to the side of Gladiators. Not sure exactly what happened there, but 7gen is holding the flash, and they're just going to die for it. So Reindeer Smolder pops the barrier at the perfect time, and now Gladiators are actually in the first time this series ahead in the bot lane due to the over-aggression from the bot side of Gamblers.
So what happened was that Blind Hookers did Hex Flash forward, and they tried to go on to Nautilus, but Nautilus able to stay a little bit tankier because you had Aftershock available, so you stay alive a little bit longer. The minions also still do a nice chunk of damage, especially this early on. So they're fighting in wave. And then Nautilus being able to help Kaisa just proc up the plasma meant that the over-aggression from Blind Hookers there does mean that the Rel dies, especially because when you saw the Rel make that early level 2 engage, they burned the exhaust instantly, but Frisky MMO was able to sit on that ignite. So the punish came through, they're able to get the kill, and Reindeer Smolder actually survives by virtue of barrier as well. So as you said, Kevin, for the first time in this series, the bot lane of Gladiators coming out ahead this early on, able to get a very healthy back in as well. In the other lanes, I'd say that Winter able to just play things relatively safe. You wouldn't get it. Trying to stay alive, trying to stay shielded up as the Yone into the Vladimir. But that mid lane, you're welcome. Just being able to bot lane getting a bit aggressive again. Hooker's eating a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Reindeer Smolder with that serrated dirt doing big chunk to Blind Hookers. So the Kathy and Rain going to chunk out heavily. It's just that Hex Flash miss makes it so dangerous, right? If you miss that, you don't really have anything to go off of because the Nautilus can actually hook you out of the crash down. So yeah, I mean, 7gen's staying pretty even on farm as we see some scrapping the top side, but yeah, control of the bot lane lies solely in the favor of Gladiators. Again, for the first time this series, is pretty big for them.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so here's the thing, right? As Blind Hookers, they were dismounted looking for the Hex Flash, and that's all well and good. Like, you're trying to pressure the enemy laner, like the enemy ADC by doing that, because you Hex Flash into wave, you have the enhanced movement speed when you mount back up, so you're able to, look for a stun. But the problem is, if you do that straight into the Nautilus is like, all right, well, you've given me a free opportunity for hook. I'm just going to look straight for it. Mid lane, though. Oh my goodness.
Damage with the proc of the electrocute. He throws the Chum the Waters on Zap. Zap flashes for the 3 talent strike, but You're Welcome flashes over the wall to escape. Wow, just the 2v1, kind of the slippery fish, just really playing up to the playful trickster name as they just get out of that fight for free, and now they jump onto Zap, doing big damage. One more auto attack from Rexcat. Actually, it's going to be the the Sea Stone Trident damage over time being picked up. 2 early kills for You're Welcome. We have seen what they can do with early game money, with early game kills, and that is not the start you want to see for Team Gamblers.
Yeah, I mean, now, across your lanes, right? Mid lane. Oh, no, bot lane.
Getting hooked in again. He's just going to die. The full stack of the plasma just obliterates him, essentially, from Frisky and Reindeer Smolder. They have so much damage with that Kaisa getting the full stack of the plasma, and the isolated Acathian Rain just means he goes for the play, fails it, and just dies for his sins. So a very strong gold lead for the side of Gladiators already. 3k gold at just 6k minutes and this first dragon.
Yeah, and like that's what's so rough for the Rel here. Yes, you can try to pressure, but as you were saying, like the plasma stacking, the ability for Kaisa just instantly proc it essentially because you have Nautilus as your support means that you're never really going to be as relevant as you want to. But the other thing that's kind of perplexing me here, like to me here, is that this is just a Jinx. You know, this is a level 5 Jinx. You don't even have Super Mega Death Rocket available. You don't have like a good buy on
Oh
your
wait, the
items.
flash. The flash and the ghost from Winter to block the Fate Seal. Does he have enough damage? It drops the Hemo Plague. I think you wouldn't get it. Did invest the flash to get out, so it's going to be Summoners traded on the top side because he did see Zaf on the ward, but it is very aggressive from Winter, means you wouldn't get it. I think he's going to lose a wave here, but not much else other than that. You're welcome. Looking for the kill angle again. Has the ulti up very soon. He's going to go for an Urgent Strike into the Electrocute proc. He gets, wow, barely slips out of that event horizon. I did not know how that fish is so slim. But yeah, Fox under some early game pressure once again.
I mean, we knew this was gonna happen. Right? Like
Oh
oh dear,
no,
there's
the
the
Chum
Chum
the
the Water.
Waters hits and Fox has nothing to do. He's under the turret. Primordial Burst just gets playful
Oh
Trickster.
dear.
That champion is damn disgusting as Fox burns the ulti for nothing, and you're welcome. He's going to force them out of lane with no teleport. Likely going to get a plate here and extend their gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, like there really isn't anything that Veigar can do in this matchup. Like you are playing again into a Fizz. Fizz can kind of just ignore anything you want to do early on. So as Veigar, name of the game is survive, and you know Fox able to manage, like able to do it this time. But you know when like you see you can't even land your ultimate against the champion, like that's just disheartening to deal with. But that's also why the idea is, at least for the side of gamblers here, is like okay, well we need to scale, right? Like Winter is at parity in top lane, but Xin Zhao hasn't gotten a successful gank off, and you know mid and bot lane are struggling noticeably at this point. So yeah, I would say that gamblers, they're very much on the back foot. Obviously, you know it's early; it's far too early in the game to say, okay, well it's definitively won or lost. The gamblers are certainly floundering, certainly struggling at this very moment.
Oh, floundering might be the right word for it, as you're welcome. Looking for another train on Fox. A full level up now, as with that mid and top pressure, it's going to be Gladiators picking up the Void Grubs. First two neutral objectives. You know, this isn't the right season, but they are on the way to feats if they had it. But
Is that
Rexcat just having
normal for
free reign.
Kaisa?
That is, no,
Bro,
that's not a normal Kaisa bid.
Rush?
They're going for the lethality build. I've tested this a couple of times a couple seasons ago. That's probably why they were winning the bottom lane trade so hard after Frisky was able to get a single hook, because the hail of plates into the lethality means that you pretty much just one shot anyone you hit if you're able to get the plasma and the ISO Q off. So yeah, that's a yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. Oh no, and you're welcome just picks up another kill, as we're gonna get the instant replay. Fox walked up for the minion, and I think this is just your welcome hitting everything. Let's see here. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
urgent strike through
it's
the
full
minion.
damage
Yeah,
from the
ulti on
waters.
cooldown, and
Yeah.
it's just not fair for this Veigar. I hate Fizz so much. I feel you, brother, but yeah, you're welcome picking up a second solo kill of the game. Yeah, it's looking third actually. He got a solo kill on the Xin Zhao, right? No, it was with the help of Rexcats' Graves, but yeah, that's pretty disgusting. Oh, Reindeer Smolder now likely getting dived here. Oh no, Flash Magnet Storm doesn't hit anything.
7 Chan.
Yeah, Reindeer Smolder invests the flash to get out of that, but still, that's a safe Kaisa who's already on the first item, and now the depth charge goes out. Frisky looking for more. Exhaust on the Kaisa as Frisky's just trying to go for this. The Killer Instinct on the back line. He does have damage, but the Super Mega Death Rocket does big damage. The barrier popped, but I think Reindeer Smolder's still going to die here as Frisky going to also go down to Zaf. Zaf getting 2 kills there, and in a straight up 1v1. We don't see what happened. Hopefully we can get a replay on that, but Winter just gets a solo bolo as Rexcat has to watch his top laner's wave just die. We see here Hemo Plague hits, the smokescreen hits as well, but he just hit everything to Tides of Blood, and the heal after the Hemo Plague means Rexcat can't get the kill back. Wow, we thought that the game was slowly spiraling out of control, and it still kind of is in the mid lane, don't get me wrong, but I think gamblers are very happy to get a bit of a turnaround in both the top side and the bot side.
Yeah, I mean, like I would say that's just a really solid punish of the over aggression from Ranger Smolder and Frisky down there. Like they didn't know where Zaf was, and so it's a really good opportunity for that punish to come through. They're able to get a little bit more gold in there, and top lane as well. Things going a little bit better for gamblers at this point, but they're still in a rough spot, relatively speaking, right? Like they're still definitively, 2.5 2.4k down on gold. That Fizz is a monster already at 3-0. But I think the more relevant thing, the thing that I would say Gladiators needs to be concerned about is that Vladimir starting to get very, very healthy. The Xin Zhao does have 2 kills in the pocket as well. So even though you do have the lead, you can't keep making mistakes and letting certain champions get ahead like that.
Yep, exactly. I mean, Vlad and Jinx are 2 of the scariest late game carries. Now you wouldn't get it. Getting jumped on. Winter just needs more and more transfusion, and he's gonna get it. The second solo kill. Winter having a great game on his Vladimir. Invest the flash for a kill. I think this second drag's gonna go over to Gladiators, but I think Gamblers are pretty happy to make that trade just to stabilize the gold lead. As we see, ooh, you're welcome getting ganked here. The event horizon hits, but oh man, Fox just does not have a ton of damage to really do anything to it or threaten a kill. So Dragon over for a bit more pressure alleviated on the top side, but Winter is going to be big in this game.
It looks like they're trying to force in bottom lane.
Oh my god, and on the bottom side, the Super Mega Death Rocket doing big damage, but Reindeer's... Oh my god, Reindeer Smolder just dies to 1 rocket. I think that might have been a crit, as we see the hook missing, but it doesn't really matter, as Your Welcome is here. Likely just going to clean this up easily. Dark Harvest stack farmed. Nice job, Rexcat, as we see. Yep, You're Welcome going to pick that one up, but that is a pretty big trade kill over. I mean, 7gen got a lot of gold off that. Finishes the Hex Optics, is now only half an item behind on Reindeer Smolder, who's going for this lethality build. Oh, and you wouldn't get it. Getting caught now by Zaf. Gets knocked up by the 3 Talon Strike. Can he fight back on this? He's going to likely just try to flash the wall. Oh my god, he gets caught though. He hits the Fate Sealed into Zaf, who flashes in front of it to stop the escape over the wall. And Fox finishes it with the Primordial Burst. Nice job from the mid jungle of Gamblers to secure that kill. And Winter, again, we keep talking about this guy, but he's just going to free farm on the top turret plates. That's so much money for this top laner.
And you can see that Riftmaker is complete for the Vladimir now, so access to a lot of healing, but also access to even more AP for the amount of HP that you build. So Vladimir very, very happy to have that item. Down there in the bot lane, you did see that Reindeer Smolder was also able to get the kill on Rel under the turret, because Blind Hookers just tanked a bit 1 turret shot too many. So
look at that. He has the angle, jumps onto. You wouldn't get it immediately. He does still have the flash. Winter goes for it. You wouldn't get it. Flashes out. Hemoplague hits. Can he get the Q3 charge? He gets it away, but the Audacious charge follows. He uses the Soul Unbound to buy a little bit of time, but I think that's just going to be a dead Yone here, as you wouldn't get it. Oh, Super Mega Death Rocket misses, but it doesn't matter. Winter on a killing spree, picking that up, is now 4-0, I believe, on that Yone. It's because Your Welcome was on the bot side looking for this play. 7gen, yeah, this boy is dead, as both of them get hit by the Chum the Waters, as Frisky picks that one up. The Void Seeker picks up Blind Hookers. So on the top side, while Winter's winning, it's the bottom lane who is suffering for side of Gamblers, as we see Fox looking for Rexcat, who has to flash out of the event horizon, dodges the Dark Matter. So, yeah, in the complete opposite of Game 1, where 7gen and Blind Hookers were carrying their team, it's now going to be Winter and likely Zaf carrying for this Game 3 against what is a very fed bot lane. I mean, the mid lane's still kind of up to contention, because that is a lot of kills, but, you know, it's not exactly on Fox. But Reindeer Smolder is going to be terrifying this game, going for, I think I saw Sorcerer's Shoes into the Umbral Glaive. I don't really know what this build is cooking, but Kaisa can do a lot of things, and I don't know what this is, because I think they're going Essence Reaver now. I'm kind of confused, to be completely honest with you, because lethality works, magic damage does work, but usually you don't see them together on the Kaisa. So maybe this is a new cook that I'm not sure about.
Yeah, I'm completely lost as far as this Kaisa build goes, because I've never seen someone build Umbral Glaive into ER. But like talking about what's not working, you know, You're Welcome, or sorry, you wouldn't get it. Having a rough time up here in the top lane.
Oh no, Hemoplague hits. The blood misses as he tries to get the Fate Sealed, but no, it's Zaf here to make sure his quarterback can get the kill. It's Winter now 4-0. Zaf with 2 kills, getting towards that Black Cleaver or Sterix maybe, but bot lane is suffering for all that time. The jungle is there, as yeah, the bot lane tier 1's likely going to go down here. Oh, maybe not. Oh wow, one auto attack and it's going down, but they don't go for it, as You're Welcome looking for Fox again. He does have the ulti, gets the Proto Belts in, Event Horizon to disengage. Fox very dangerous. The fish is looking for the fox is all I gotta say, as it's going to be top lane tier 1 going down first. So that is bonus gold over to the Vladimir again, as it's going to be a 4-man collapse on this bot side. Blind Hookers flashes out, uses the crash down. You're welcome. Hits the Chum the Waters, and it hits the Jinx. Unfortunate, as 7gen is taking a lot of damage. He's likely going to go down. Yep, it's just an easy cleanup from Rexcat, and you're welcome, as Zaf goes on the Rift Herald. So bot lane is crying and losing, and it's not great for them, but on the top side, at least Zaf and Winter are making stuff happen.
Yeah, I mean, like, it feels like You Wouldn't Get It has become the sacrificial lamb, so to speak, for Glad, right? They're like, okay, you look, man, just try to hold it down, right? Try to keep the lane at parity for as long as possible. We're going to hammer this Jinx, this Rel, as hard as we can. And I would say that for Glad, it's kind of working out a little bit. Wait,
Zaf is going in very aggressively, taking a lot of damage. Oh, Super Mega Death Rocket just barely does not kill Rexcat, as Zaf getting away just barely. I think if You're Welcome had the angle for the Urchin Strike, that's likely a dead jungler, and not being able to contest this third dragon. This is sole point for the side of Gladiators if they want to secure that right now. Okay, Rexcat just went back. Tier 1 turret goes down, so I think the play is stopped for now, but I think they're going to go straight for it. The real question is, can Team Gamblers secure this dragon before the enemy team appears? Winter is here, as we see, doing decent damage to it. Zaps is doing pretty good. Blind Hookers gets hooked up, as he's taking a lot of damage from the chunk, as it's going to be a secure on that, stopping Dragon Soul point. And as we see Winter trying to run into the backline, hits the Sanguine Pool, gets a lot of healing from that ultimate, but now Winter is getting jumped on by You're Welcome, who follows with the flash playful Trickster, and 7gen's the only one alive and has to watch as his entire team gets swept up. Dragon for 4 kills. I'm not sure if that was worth it, because that's a huge shutdown on Winter going over to You're Welcome. They got the drag, they stopped the stacking, but at what cost, as it's a 5k gold lead now in the hands of Gladiators?
Yeah, I would certainly argue it's not worth it. Like, the stopping the stacking is great and all, but like, if the sacrifice, so to speak, is giving Fizz a ton of gold, as well as even more plates, like they are pushing in bot lane in addition to that, like, no towers go down, sure, but you've lost a solid chunk of gold. The Fizz only gets more dangerous here, and you can actually see that You're Welcome now has that Lich Bane completed on Fizz, so that's even more burst onto the Urchin Strike, or the Seastone Trident auto reset. And we're already seeing in a similar vein to game 1, right? Like, no one can keep the ADC
You're
safe.
welcome.
You're welcome.
Wait, he doesn't even play full trick, so that's 1k gold over to 7gen. I think he was rooted up by the Flame Chompers and chain CC'd by Zaf. That is a huge fumble from the side, I was gonna say, of the Patriots, but we're past the Super Bowl. It's a huge fumble from You're Welcome, just giving over a 1200 gold shutdown to 7gen.
Yeah, it's a huge amount of gold back into the Jinx's inventory there. I was going to say earlier, when that Super Mega Death Rocket landed, I looked at Jinx's inventory and I was thinking, like, okay, you swap out one of those daggers for a longsword, and that's a dead Graves. Like, it's that thin of a margin in terms of the damage that Graves survived by. But a little bit less relevant now, as you can see, that is the completed Runon's Hurricane for 7gen. So the Jinx already at that 2-item mark. I believe the beginning of critical mass for Jinx is 2.5 to 3 items. So that's certainly something that Glad needs to keep in mind. And also going back to the whole, like, this is one of the more perplexing builds I've seen on Kai'Sa. You can see that Reindeer Smolder has a needless and double amp tome in the inventory. So I guess just trying to hit every single breakpoint for your build as Kai'Sa, like, that's what my guess is. It's just weird. I don't need it.
You can hit those breakpoints without really needing those items. As no, You Wouldn't Get It is he's getting it right now, as the Fate Seal runs into the Xin Zhao, meaning he wastes the ult, he wastes the flash, nothing really invested, as the Super Mega Death Rocket collects it. More money in the pocket of Jinx is really good for the side of Team Gamblers, as she's trying to solo defend this base. 7gen is in a very precarious position right now. One hook would likely mean death, but Blind Hookers and Zaf are rotating over. Okay, I think the play's going to stop there, unless Blind Hooker looks for a flash engage or something, okay? Maybe he's going for it. Flash Q misses, unfortunate. The Shattering Strike just goes wide as the hook back in from Frisky. Big damage onto it, but Winter is here. The flash out Hemoplague as well, as Ranger Smolder has to run away. Winter just collecting that kill. I think Frisky thought there was too many members behind him, but it was actually more members from Gamblers picking that one up. You know, questionable build aside, I think Reindeer Smolder is, you know, he can do a lot of damage, but you still have to get in range of the Kaisa for them to deal damage. So, yeah, I think Frisky just getting a bit too, you know, frisky there, so to speak, with the hook, not realizing there's 4 members they were hooking into.
Yeah, I think that they thought like, okay, it's just like 2, maybe 3. But the moment Winter shows up there on the Vladimir, you know, oh man, the hook was the wrong choice. I should not have taken this. I should not have thrown this hook out. But the punish does come through. The gold is still very much in the favor of Glad, but I do feel like, you know, like Glad, they're worried, right? Like you're staring down the barrel of a 5-1-1 Vladimir with a completed death cap, working on another magic pen item next. And then for everyone else, like, you know, you need time to scale as Veigar. Like, you still need at least 2 more minutes for that Roa to finish stacking. But 7-Gen progressively getting more and more dangerous here.
No, 7-Gen is caught in the choke point. They get hit with the... Oh, they flash out of the Fate Sealed. Your Welcome is diving them heavily. The Winter is untouched. Can 7-Gen survive? They're right on top of the Flame Chompers, which is a nice play. It's your Welcome getting hooked up, but Winter looking for it. Super Mega Death Rocket hits. The Zhonya's is popped. Zaf is looking for the knock-up here as the Rocket gets the kill. It's now on a killing spree, this Jinx, as we see the turnaround on top of Frisky. Winter created so much space for 7-Gen to make the play. Oh, wait, Rexcat on the other side. I didn't even see what happened, but he shot the ulti. I think he got the kill, and now the play turns back around. Zaf has to pop the Crescent Guard to survive. Reindeer Smolder hits him with the Void Seeker, but it's not enough. Winter now gutting back in with the Hex Gates, has the flash, has the ulti, has the... is he gonna go for it? Misses the Tides of Blood though, but he's still running down Rexcat with the Ghost. Gets a huge shutdown. 800 gold as Fox is just buying time for him with the cage. Reindeer Smolder now caught between a rock and a hard place. Jumps over the wall with the Killer Instinct, but is gonna get slowed by the Tides of Blood. Killed by the Transfusion, and another shutdown goes to Winter. There is so much lying in the hands of your Welcome, and he just could not get the job done. It was 7-Gen with the amazing kiting, flashed out of the ulti, stood on top of the Flame Chompers to make sure he wouldn't get chased down, and now it's you wouldn't get it. Just absolutely getting it as Zaf is here to support this Rel. The Bandle Pipes is here. The jump in from the Yone trying to go for something on the Jinx. 7-Gen picking up another kill almost to that IE, and now I think they're going to try to go for the Baron off of that delayed kill, as it's you wouldn't get it. He does have the TP, but Reindeer Smolder's dead for another 4. Can your Welcome and Frisky do something for this play? Crescent Guard goes out. Your Welcome is stuck. Has to use the Playful Trickster. Dodges the Shattering Strike as Fox is still hitting Baron. As we see Rexcat has big damage here. Gets the smoke screen off. The Chum the Waters missed on the backline as now Reindeer Smolder is back. Winter is so very low. Super Mega Death Rocket splashes off the graves and Rexcat goes down, and now Frisky goes into the meat grinder and goes down as your Welcome cannot find an angle in. As we see Winter on the backside gets the explosion in a pile of blood and viscera. It's Reindeer Smolder going down to the Vladimir. And after what was one play, it extends into another, into the Baron bait. And it means Team Gamblers are going to secure this Baron uncontested off of what was 2 team fights, I think, just back to back.
Yeah, I mean, like, things just went from bad to worse, and like it really is just indicative of the problem that no one can knock down Winter long enough to burst the Vladimir out to make sure that Vladimir dies, but then also 7-Gen has just been able to get like little increments of gold over and over and over again, and now you are contending with that 3-item Jinx, who does have that completed IE, still getting more AD, still getting scarier, and like at this point, if you are this side of Glad, well, your team is oriented around just bursting, and like they're oriented around damage. Unfortunately, your Yone is like still yet to participate in a single kill. There's nothing that the guy can do. Like we've already seen that he's pumping out, like, you wouldn't get us pumping out so little damage that as a level 14 Yone, he could not kill a level 10 Rel. Now, it's not to say that like Rel isn't tanky or anything like that, but that is pretty darn bad. Like, objectively speaking, it is. Yeah,
that is terrible. That is
Yeah,
very hard to watch, and I think we need some build kind of scientists here, because I think multiple members of Team Gladiators are losing to the shopkeeper, because the one upgrade that Kaisa does not have that would help them kite is the supercharge
attack
upgrade
speed.
off the
Yeah,
attack speed. Yeah, 7 Gen has fully caught up in items. They have the Baron buff. They're just running it down mid. And yeah, Yone, I don't know what the hell this guy's building, but that is not second item on Yone. As a Yone player, you're welcome. Has the flank. Can he go in? Hits the Chum the Waters. It hits on a Blind Hookers. Can he get the Jinx? 7 Gen is taken very low, but the barrier activated. The Zanya's popped for your welcome. Can he get a range? The Killer Instinct on the backline. They get the shutdown. Can they do enough? Winter is 1v3. Get the back and kills 2 just with the Hemo Flag. Your welcome goes down to Zaf, as it's just Winter taking over the fight. Call this man Canada, because this Winter is strong as hell, as he just got a triple kill, 1v3 in the back line. The entire team dove onto 7 Gen, and they ignored the real carry of this team for Team Gamblers, which was Winter's Vladimir.
Oh man, it really felt like in that moment Gladiators was like, okay, we need to kill 7 Gen, we need to kill 7 Gen. And so they threw everything they had. They threw You're Welcome, they threw Reindeer Smolder, but now they've thrown the game entirely because no one was able to answer Winter, and the only person left to defend is, you wouldn't get it, this 0-7-0 Yone trying to mount a defense which is completely untenable.
Oh, the last defense, the Sanguine Pool activates. He just almost
desperately.
blows up the Yone one-shot. Zaf is on the Nexus, as even though his teammates die, he is going to get the job done. That is game 3 over to Gamblers of what was almost a loss in the early game. They turned it around. They got the shutdowns, and Team Gladiators unfortunately cannot finish the fight, as it's going to be Gamblers taking their win in the head-to-head. So they're going to move up to second place in the Solari group. Yeah, you got to be feeling for Gladiators on that one, because, man, Winter, he just carried his team from the start of the game.